and welcome. My name is Vincent Faney. I'm with CTV. I'm the producer of a new show called Vinsanity Unplugged, in search of game changers. My job, my passion, my mission is to go out into the community to people who work in various careers or operating in different aspects of life, people who are, whether they're athletes, doctors, researchers, teachers, social activists, and today even people who are running for candidates for public office. So again, a lot of the people running for office are rumored to be game changers, the very people we need, people who are ahead of the curve, people who are going to deal with the issues that are pressing us today. My guest today is Beverly Hills. And Beverly, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Great. Well, what are you running for? Which office?
I am running for West Lane County Commissioner.
West Lane County Commissioner. And what area does that oversee?
The western part of Eugene, clear over to the coast.
Oh, over all the way to Florence.
All the way to Florence.
Nice. Okay, that's great. So tell us a little background about yourself.
Well, my family's been in this area since 1832.
1832?
Yes.
Okay. Did they come on the Oregon Trail? Where'd they come from?
Yes, my great-great-grandfather, Jasper Hills, came over on the Oregon Trail. He's on my father's side of the family.
Okay.
On my father's mother's side of the family, they settled in the Cottage Grove area, which is also part of West Lane.
There you go. Okay, it's like destiny.
Yeah.
Okay, so then your family's been here since 1832 in this area.
Right.
Okay, and so then you were born and you were raised in Eugene, or where were you raised?
I was born right here in the Santa Clara area.
Okay.
Went to Santa Clara Elementary.
Okay.
Then Spring Creek Elementary. And then James Madison Junior High, and graduated from North Eugene High School.
Okay, what year did you graduate, if I may ask?
1974.
Oh, well, okay, there you go. We're contemporaries. That's great. All right, well, so after high school, what did you do?
After high school, I went down south to Medford.
Ah, Medford. Okay, what you do in Medford?
Went to college.
Okay.
Got my business associate's degree in management and accounting.
Okay.
So I have 2 associate's degrees.
A numbers gal.
Yes.
Numbers, okay.
Very much numbers.
Okay. So then you went, now what school was that, just out of curiosity?
Oregon College of Business.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you spent that time in Medford, then you came back up here?
Then I got married and had kids down in Medford.
Okay.
Then I came back up here after the divorce happened.
Okay. Okay. So then, so now you're here, and you started working where?
I started working at the Eugene Police Department, scanning records. And at...
What year was that, if I may ask? Just
that was early 90s.
Okay, because I came out here in 81, 82, so I'm just trying to get a feel for the whole history. So.
And I got a temporary part-time job with Lane County Waste Management.
Okay.
That was in 92.
Okay. What'd you do with them? Numbers?
No, I was with Waste Management. I was up at the Walton Dump.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I met a lot of people there.
Okay, all right. So then you worked there for a few years, and then where'd you go?
And then I got hired on full-time permanent with the county at Lane County Behavioral Health.
Behavioral health.
It was called mental health then.
It was called mental health?
Yeah.
Okay, so now it's behavioral health. So behavioral health, what sort of, what do they do? What's the job? What's the main function of that organization?
The main function of that organization is to help out the mentally ill people in Lane County. Counseling. Okay. Residential services. Okay. Many things.
Now, are people like assigned, or are they you know, when you have somebody who's it's not like a hospital, is it? There's nobody held there? Okay, so it's outpatient.
It's outpatient.
Outpatient.
It's an outpatient clinic.
So some people are appointed to go there due to court appointing, or some people just say, hey, I have problems, can you help me, that sort of thing?
They come from the jail, they come from the hospital, they come voluntarily because they feel that something's not right.
Okay, and they want help. So, okay. So then you've been working there for years, and what's your main duties at that place?
I am an office assistant. Right now, my main duties are to give assistance to the commitment team.
What is a commitment team?
They see people who go into the hospital in crises. We see about getting them committed.
Committed to the hospital?
Sometimes the commitment can take place at home, wherever
Okay.
they're more comfortable.
Okay. Okay. So is that people who need to be committed, is that something that's where they're a danger to themselves or their family, perhaps?
Danger to themselves or others.
Okay. All right. So then they're under what, like electronic surveillance sometimes?
No, it's totally
Voluntary?
voluntary.
Okay.
Well, not voluntary, it's involuntary. They do have a commitment investigator keep track of them. And if they start not complying with the program, then they get to go to a stricter place.
A stricter? You mean more like a
More
semi-lockdown type of thing? Light security kind of place?
There are levels they have to go,
Residences and so forth? Or,
Right.
Yeah, with people watching?
Right.
Okay. So then now you've been there for how many years?
I've been with Lane County Behavioral Health for 24 years.
24 years. That's a long
I've
time.
been employed by the county for 26.
Oh, okay. That's a good job. So ever since you were a little girl, you were thinking, I just one day want to go into politics and just like take control of things or run
Didn't
for
cross
office
my
or start.
mind at all.
No,
No, it
no dream
didn't.
of being president or.
No
Okay.
dreams of that.
Okay.
No,
So-
no aspirations.
But all of a sudden, out of the blue.
distraction. A lot has happened over the years
Yeah.
that led me to this.
This path you're taking.
Yeah,
What sort of like prompted it?
seeing the county services go downhill because they have less and less money in the budget to keep those services going.
What service particularly that seemed to be going down?
Well, the one I'm interested in is
The one you're
commitment,
in.
of course.
Okay. Okay. Less funding for you guys.
Actually, there's less funding for a lot of services.
Why do you think that is?
Money's getting used elsewhere.
Okay. Okay. So
We also had the Fox Lawson, which gave the supervisors, the administrator, and the county commissioners big raises.
yeah, I
There was
heard
a
of it. A lot of
Fox Lawson study comparing their salaries with those of other counties and states. We're working with them to try and get them to do that for us, but naturally they won't.
Yeah, yeah. So they decided these guys they voted themselves more money, right?
Right.
Okay. I heard a lot of people were irritated about that.
Yeah, most recently the commissioners voted themselves a 12% raise.
Nice. Okay. I wish I could do that.
With the 600 plus employees that are in the union I belong to at Lane County, we're lucky if we get 1 or 2% per contract, which now lasts 3 years.
So what is your union? SCIE, what is it?
No,
The
AFSME, Local
ASME. Oh, okay, ASME,
2831.
yeah. Okay. Didn't they have another union, one on strike recently, but was it the city? Was it SEIU? I'm not up on the acronyms for unions.
No,
No, you don't know? Okay.
I'm up on my acronym.
Yeah, on your union. Okay, so now you're running for office, and the incumbent. Who's the incumbent for your office? Who's the person sitting
Jay
there?
Bozovich.
Oh, Jay Bosevich. Yeah, I've been trying to get him to get interviewed with me, and he's been very busy. He can't make it, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm disappointed.
He's still working, just like I'm still working.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I know he's busy, but like I said, I'm very disappointed. I wanted to speak to him, and I wanted to speak to some of the other ones, and they've just been busy, I guess. But anyway, so you're running against him. You don't like the way he's handling things?
I don't like the way the commissioners as a whole.
Right.
No, I'm not
Yeah.
pointing fingers
No,
at
yeah,
Jay
okay,
or
yeah,
anything.
yeah. Okay, so, yeah, I mean, well, some people like to point fingers. They say, hey, he's not doing this, and then he's doing, you know.
I'm
But
not into the
okay,
mudslinging
so
thing.
you're not going to be pointing and saying, that dirty rat. You're just saying that overall, the things aren't going in the direction that you want to see, and you're looking to go in and change that.
Right.
Okay.
I want to get into that budget and see exactly where the money's going.
Okay.
Because the budget, as they release it to the public,
Mm-hmm.
shows no item by item.
Doesn't show items, just kind of.
It's very generalized.
Okay.
I want to see where that money's going because
You're a
it's
numbers
obviously
person.
not where it's not going where it should be going.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
it just needs.
Would that be one of your top priorities if you got in office?
Yes, that, and I am very much a people person.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that every person has a voice and should have a choice
Right.
in how government is run.
Right.
I feel very passionately about that.
Yeah, I hear you on that. So you're gonna. What are the current issues happening in the county that draw the most interest for you? Like some people, it's like getting more business in. Other people, it's like we got to help the homeless. Some other people say we got to have Vince pay less taxes and property taxes. But you know, so
All of them are kind of intertwined.
mm-hmm.
In order to help the homeless, you need to bring in the jobs.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have businesses that can hire them.
Mm-hmm.
The county really can't because of the way the money is. So
Just dispersed or what?
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So and of course the aerial spraying is a big concern right now
Okay.
because of the problems they've had over in the Florence area.
What sort of problems?
There was aerial spraying done and people got sick.
Okay. Like
I
real
mean,
severe
very,
sick? Really
very
sick, yeah?
sick.
Like what? Like in what way? Like
Throwing up
throwing up? Yeah.
a lot. You know, just nerve damage.
Nerve damage. Okay.
Things like that. One of the things I would like to see happen is instead of aerial spraying, the timber companies could hire those homeless or anybody else to do the cultivation of the forests.
Okay, backpack in and do it like by hand. So, yeah.
Like they used to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It would put people back to work. It would give people a better sense of worth, of value, and that would help them go out to get better paying jobs and leave those jobs open for the, it'd be kind of like a work-in.
Okay.
Because if you have a job, you can find a job.
Okay.
But it's getting that first job once you've been
there.
downtrodden
Yes, I
that
know.
is hard.
Yeah.
I know, I've been there.
Been there too. Yeah, it's hard.
A lot of us have been there, done
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So you're looking to get rid of aerial spraying. You're looking at trying to get jobs into the community, into Lane County. How would you do? What kind of jobs and how would you do it? What kind of jobs industries are you looking for?
Well, one of the problems we have is the plastics right now. Plastic recycling,
yeah.
because they no longer get accepted at waste management.
They don't.
No. I mean, you can put them in the garbage, but you can no longer recycle them.
Huh? I didn't. Why is
So-
that? I thought they were using recycling
Well,
plastics and using
that's
them.
because we lost the company we sell them to.
We lost
So
it.
we lost that bid. We lost that contact.
How did that happen? I mean,
I-
did they just go
I'm
under,
not-
or did
I'm
they
not
say,
sure.
no, we don't want to deal with Lane County?
I'm not sure how that happened, but we need to get a recycler back.
Okay, because I've seen some news articles, and I don't know if it's specific types of plastics, but they're saying, geez, you could use plastic for insulation in houses. You can build houses with plastic. I don't know what they can do with plastic except make plastic bottles or whatever. But so that's what I thought that would be a viable source of materials for some companies to want to just pick up. And now you're
Yes, it
saying that's
is.
no longer there. I go there and
That's still available to a certain point.
Okay.
What I'd like to see happen is to maybe bring to our community a recycler just for plastic so we could get them taken care of. That would also help with the job market.
Okay. I was seeing something in a science magazine recently where they were talking about having a new kind of plastic that's actually biodegradable. That it's just basically, it just decomposes and fertilizes the soil, and the bugs are happy and everybody's happy, but I don't know where that's going. So what other sort of industries would you like to see come into Lane County?
Oh, that's really hard to say. I would like to hear from the people and know what they want to happen.
You mean like me and other citizens?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
I'd like to hear from any and all people in West Lane. I mean, I'm here for the people. I would work for the people. Unlike some of the commissioners don't work for the people anymore. They started out that way.
Yeah, why do you think that is?
I don't know. It's
They just said, no, we're just tired of people or whatever, right?
No.
Because I hear that complaint a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure there are things that happen. I can't say what draws them away.
Okay.
But I can say that I am very much for the people. I'd like to hear their ideas. Some of the ideas people have are wonderful. Some not so wonderful, but the majority are good ideas.
Good.
And all those ideas need pursued.
Okay.
They need researched.
So what do you think about some of the issues people were talking about were education?
I'm right. There's
For kids,
education has been going downhill for quite a while.
Why do you think that is?
Economics.
Okay.
They can no longer afford the tools they need to teach certain things like mechanics, and things like that.
Yeah, a lot of schools. Joe, I think Joe is telling everybody that like this place here used to be a wood shop for Sheldon. And a lot of the schools have given up their industrial arts programs for whatever reason. I don't know why, because those jobs provide, those classrooms provide teachers' jobs, and they help kids with industrial arts, kids who maybe would prefer to do something with their hands, something blue collar, as opposed to going to college and maybe getting a liberal arts degree.
Right.
Don't know why they've got rid of it, you know. And when I was in school, when you were in school, they had home economics, and then they had industrial arts.
Nowadays, home economics is learning how to balance your checkbook.
Well, that's necessary. I mean, everybody should learn that.
Not much more, I don't think.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, we would need to get more of an interactive education.
Yes.
And so, any ideas on how you could promote that?
I would like to find out ways.
Okay. A lot of people have opinions, sure.
Right.
Yeah. So, what would you do to, you know, what about? Well, I don't even know if Lane Community College gets funding from the county, or they do from the state.
I'm not sure either. That's part of what I need to find out in the budget, because I didn't particularly see a line item for that. And working as I do for the county, like on my lunchtime, my own time, I will go in and I will look at different things like the budget and stuff and try to understand them. And it's also pretty much unintelligible to me.
Right. And you're a numbers person. You're trained to read spreadsheets, and that doesn't bode well.
But the budget they put out is very, very generalized. You don't get to see the numbers really. You get to see the total for this program, the total for this program, the total for... But where does the money go inside that program?
Aren't they required to have a detailed
yes,
spreadsheet?
They are.
So
yes,
they're required. Is it like they're just basically saying the public doesn't need anything more than the general stuff, and we'll keep this under lock and key? Is that how, I mean...
I'm not really sure why we're not getting to see what we need to see.
Yeah, okay. So. I guess it sounds like the cheating husband that doesn't want his wife to see who he's purchasing flowers for or something. I don't know.
Could be.
Okay. It sounds shaky. It sounds weird. You know, I would want to see all the details, you know. Yeah, down to the penny.
Right.
You know? But so we're looking at education. We're looking at affordable housing. How would you, you know, a lot of people are saying affordable housing, and one of the people running for a different district for county commissioner brought up the point that housing, affordable housing, has to be, what does that mean? You know, like it goes by the middle class. What's affordable for the middle class? But a lot of people are under middle class.
Right.
So
we need
affordable
housing for
everybody,
every level in every class.
And how do we do that? Because materials, just like on some houses, I talked to the guy who was running the village, like Opportunity Village. I forget the name of it. It's up in Cottage Grove. It's basically 200, 300 square foot housing, you know, and they would get
the
people
tiny houses.
The tiny houses, yeah. And he says, you know, they've been trying to get, and they've been completing some of these houses without paying any laborers. You got a lot of people volunteering all their time, so they can erect a house without paying anybody. All they pay for is the materials, and yet for a 200 to 300 square foot house, it could cost $20,000 to $30,000 just in materials.
Right.
So now that would be affordable housing for some people.
Not everyone.
Not everyone.
That's for sure.
So you got some people say, okay, I'll get a mortgage for $20,000, $30,000. Or something. They work it out to where the people say, okay, we'll give you good interest rates because we own these buildings outright and so forth. So that's a thought. But what about for people who can't even afford anything more than a tent? What do you, I mean, what do we do? Because do we have the resources, you think, to have every homeless person in a $20,000 to $30,000 house? I wish we did. I wish we did. I just wonder, do we? And if not, what do we do?
That's why I want to examine that budget.
Okay. Have you?
I feel we do have some money. I feel there is waste there.
Yeah.
I was reminded last night that there is a fraud, waste, and abuse hotline for our county employees to use. However, that doesn't seem to work if the people on the team that look at the reports given to them are part of the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like saying, you're getting into the cookie jar at night, so you get to watch it and make sure nobody gets into it.
Right. I used to work for a federal agency where we are allegedly allowed to call in and talk about various abuses, you know, and waste of money. And, you know, you talk to somebody going, are you sure you want to file this report? In very threatening tones.
Right.
You know, and you're like, whoa, that sounded like an arm breaker on the other side of that, you know. And so, you know, it's like basically the same thing. We're to call the very organization that we're accusing of fraud and abuse and all sorts of things.
And they're going to investigate it so well.
Yeah. Well, actually, it may come down to even like either at the best case scenario, you're kind of like just listened to and then they ignore it, or threatened. You know, they make some trouble. So that sounds like there needs to be an outside independent party that you could count.
Right. It needs to be a citizen panel. People from each district.
Well,
and different walks of life.
Right. Well, what about the environment? What sort of things do you think we should do for, you know, Joe was telling me this alarming. I didn't know how bad it was. I knew it was worse than what most people think with climate change and global warming. And, but I thought when things couldn't look bleaker today, I know it's going to get bleaker. Joe's educated me. You know, he's a STEM graduate from MIT, and he's an avid reader, reads all that stuff, right? And so I checked on what he was saying, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's as bad as he says it is.
Right.
And we got to do things like yesterday.
It didn't happen overnight. It can't be fixed overnight.
No, and we need to start it. We should have started yesterday, or weeks ago, or months ago, or years ago, or whatever.
Decades.
So decades. So you know. So, but the thing is that as a county commissioner, what sort of power do you have? Can you make changes in our infrastructure that would work? Could you put in certain mandates or policies that would help us to
I'm not
lessen
really sure what a commissioner can do,
Okay.
what kind of power they actually have.
Well,
I know that the county commissioners act as the Board of Health for Lane County.
right, right, right. And so that's one of the, well, and that's why they should help with the homeless, I think, because you're looking at a population of people who are basically a hotbed of potential epidemics of
Right.
diseases and so forth coming out. So that's one thing. But, you know,
They
no,
should-
but that's
they-
one reason why I would like to interview the, sitting county commissioners, because I would like to tell me, what do you do day to day? You get up, you have some eggs, bacon, coffee, then what do you do at work? And that's so, and that's what I'd like to know. So basically, you're going to go in, and you're going to, you're the person Jay. Let's say you upseat Jay, and Jay's gone, and there you are sitting in the office. How do you navigate around to make your? How do you navigate and say, okay, this is my job. This is what I need to do. How does
Yeah,
that work? That
well,
seems like daunting to me. I'd be
The
intimidated.
job actually wouldn't start until January 1st.
Okay.
I'm sure I would have a lot of homework between,
Sure.
like May 15th to then.
Right.
I would be researching a lot to find out what I can do.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know exactly what you can do, and a commissioner is not going to tell you exactly what you can do.
Why not?
That's their job.
Well,
I mean, they're not going to give away everything that they do in their job.
well, they're a public servant. They should just say. I mean, and this is I'm being, the kumbaya kind of like,
Right.
fantasy I'm talking here. But I mean, you go in. Let's say you win the primaries. You're going to find out the 15th if you win the primaries, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you've won. We're going to go in the future. Beverly Hills won the primary. Okay, so then.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Okay, so then how much longer is it going to be till you find out when you actually get elected, that you beat out the remaining people?
That would be in November.
Okay, so November. So between November and January, Jay knows, let's say, he just says, darn it, good for Beverly. She's kicked my butt and I'm out of here. And so she's got a couple months. Does he like embrace you and bring you in and say, you're going to intern? Let me just keep you here for a couple months and we'll intern and I'll show you the ropes or anything like that?
I don't know how they do it.
Okay.
I
'Cause
really don't
I mean,
know.
it seems like that would be a good thing. It's just like, I'm here.
That would be a very good thing, but over the years I have found out that's not the county way.
It's not the county way.
They let somebody leave before they bring somebody new in. And then they have to totally learn the job.
Wow, that seems kind of wasteful.
That's very wasteful.
That almost seems a little treacherous, almost like a betrayal to the citizens. I think that, I mean, this is my opinion. I'm very unsophisticated when it comes to politics, but as a person who coaches and trains people, my whole thing is to basically train people, get them in shape, help them reach their goals, but ideally, even though it's great to keep customer retention for your income, ethically, and for the better overall good, just in case I died, that person, I should be teaching that person to be able to be independent of me so they
Right.
could train themselves and so forth. That the only reason why that they're sticking with me is because of my blue eyes and sexual charisma. Otherwise, otherwise they should just be, I want to make them independent and self-reliant.
Right.
And it seems like if you got a public servant and you have somebody who's, we're paying to run the ship, it should be like mandatory that they teach the person coming
And
on
I'm
board
not really sure how it is.
all the tricks, all the inroads, all the pitfalls, all the shortcuts, instead of having you to go through a whole learning curve again. Every generation of person going into office should have an easier time, just like if a person's
That's
mother
the way
and
I
father
believe
and they're
it should
raising
be.
their family, your kids should have a little bit easier time in the world, navigating out in the world than you did, because they benefit from everything that you learn, all the mistakes. And it just seems that that's what our public officials should be doing for the next generation that comes in. But
And
you're
I'm
not sure that's what
if
happens?
they do that or not.
I gotta give
because
them a
I've
call.
never been in the position to
Right.
find out.
Right. I got to give them a call. It's an interesting. I don't know. I didn't think of this until I was talking to you. I don't know why. I just thought, how's that work? And now I don't even know, and I'm going to have to find out.
Yeah, I know when it comes to employees, if an employee retires, the county makes sure they're gone before they even put out the flyer for their job.
Wow.
It's changing a little bit. Sometimes maybe a week or two before they leave, they'll put something out. But a week or two is not long enough.
I mean, even DeFazio worked for Jim Weaver forever as an aide. Now, he had the advantage of being an intern in a sense, working for him. It wasn't like he just said, you know, I don't want to work at Pizza Hut anymore. And I just want to I'm going to run for Weaver's job, or he's giving it up on running for it. He hit the ground running because he had all that time working with Weaver as an intern. He got to see a lot of the internal machinery.
He pretty much knew the job.
Yeah, yeah. And so, you know, whether people could argue whether he's a good congressman or a bad congressman, whatever, he had the lay of the land for a long time. It's not like he just walked in and said, what do I do? You know, and then maybe read a book somewhere or whatever. So you should have that benefit if you get into office, right? I mean,
I would think so.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
Now I'm going to have to find out. I'm going to have to call Jay and see what's up and see if he's, you know, it just, you got me on a rant here. I don't know. I just,
see if there's any on-the-job training.
Yeah. I never thought of this stuff. This is why I'm doing this, is that I'm unsophisticated. Right now, you're my Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I'm Luke Skywalker. And you're showing me everything.
And we're doing this on a good day.
Right.
May the 4th be with you.
That's right. The 4th. There you go. That's good. Yeah, you should do stand-up comedy, too. You know, anyways, and maybe that's what public service is about, stand-up comedy. So sometimes I think that.
Sometimes I think that.
So anyways, we're talking about education, we're talking about the environment. What other issues that you want to tackle, you know, that you've been thinking about, that whether you had the power to do it or not, or if it's part of your job description or not, what would you like to see happen?
I would like to see the people get more of a voice in what really needs to happen.
And how would
what really concerns them.
Right. And how do people go about vocalizing their concerns, their angst, their you know, their wishes? I mean, right now, besides just voting for somebody, most people think if we only vote the right people in, and that's, forget about all the people who don't vote or do anything. But you got all these people who vote, and then nothing. What do you recommend that we should do besides just putting in and casting a ballot?
Well, I do know they have the public forums at the commissioners' meetings sometimes. We need to expand on that and not just here at the courthouse in Lane County, the public service building. That's not where they should all be held. There should be sites in every little town. I mean, they should be in a different place every meeting.
You know, if I had my way, I just thought, in a way, I've been to some of the city council meetings, I've been to union meetings, and they're necessary to go to. And I understand that you had to follow the Roberts Rules of Assembly up to a point. I wish it was a little less formal. This is just me spitballing. I wish it was a little less formal. I wish it didn't have to be in a closed room. I would even advocate going back, like back in the colonial times when people did a lot of this stuff in bars. You know?
I wouldn't go that far.
I don't know. Sometimes I think, okay, let's have a few brandies, maybe a few beers, you know, maybe have a big rib as you're just gnawing on a big rib, you know. And
that's how the good old boys party started.
Well, I mean, not just good old boy. Let's bring the men and women, the family, the children. And so then you got the people up there talking while I'm listening, eating my rib, you know, drinking my beer. And so at least I'm eating and I'm drinking and we got my friends with me. And instead of television, we got the people talking, and they're you know, they're eating ribs and, you know, maybe drinking a beer.
I think I would open up my Facebook page.
Okay.
I want to hear from people. I want to see what their issues are.
But you're competing with a lot of other Facebook pages.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. It's good. I mean, social media really does help a lot. But I was just spitballing. I just thought, geez, if we could just somehow make going to these events fun and sexy, and then maybe even have a stand-up comic in between, in between when they're taking a rest, poking fun at the different people.
Something to lighten the tension.
Something to lighten the tension, and also, but I don't know, it'd be worth an experiment. I'd like to see it, because I mean, people are you're politicians and social activists and trying to get people engaged. They're competing with Dancing with the Stars. I stay home and watch Dancing with the Stars, and I'm going to watch the Oregon football team play. I would go, but they always have this entertainment and stuff that's competing with the things that they need to be engaged in. And I think maybe if we just made it a little bit more fun, maybe have a few fist fights. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
I could really see that.
Maybe a little bit, just see somebody go in and like a little UFC action amongst the candidates or something. I don't know.
No, because you'd never break it up.
Yeah, yeah.
That would be too hard.
Well, did you ever see some of the people overseas when they're in parliament, different countries like Estonia, or whatever? They're in there. You got men and women just fist fighting. We're talking about politicians. Mm-hmm. They're just going for it. Chairs over the head.
And that's totally out of line.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
No, I don't like violence.
Yeah. No, I don't either. Yeah, but I bet they have a bigger audience. Anyways.
The only violence I like is like on the movie screen.
Yeah. We'll keep it to the screen.
And then the like Star Wars.
Right.
That violence I can take. I can't take the bloody guts and no.
Yeah. Well, I was just spitballing an idea, because there's a lot of times I've watched TV and I don't know why I'm doing it, because maybe it's a choice between Teletubbies and watching C-SPAN and watching the people talk, and you see the place empty and you got one or two people just standing there. It's almost like you wonder why they're there, because almost like they had nothing better to do. They're just droning on, and I'm thinking it'd be great if they had like a partition of glass, like plexiglass, where you can't hurt the politicians. You could hear them, they can't hear the audience on the outside. People are eating, and it's like a fishbowl. You get to watch people in Congress. That was just
But they need to hear the questions from the people.
Well, then they could. Then you could press at the table. You could just go in and have a thing where you're waiting in line queue and says, oh, the patron at table 6 eating the lobster or whatever wants to know what you're doing about gun control or something like that. Yeah. I think that maybe we just make it like a game show, but get things done. I don't mean like, I'm not trying to be facetious or weird purposely.
We do need to lighten the mood.
Lighten the mood.
Yes.
Okay, so what other issues do you think you're going to bring to the table what other things have been percolating in your mind that you want to?
Economics. I'm a numbers person.
Okay.
I want to see those economics get better.
Okay.
A lot better. They're being mishandled right now. Mm-hmm. The normal person is being overtaxed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am, at least, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So am I.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the big corporations, the big businesses, are not. They're not paying their fair share. They should be. Just because we need to bring them in to hire people does not mean we're going to give them a free ride.
Right.
I mean, if the normal person has to pay taxes, then so should their employer.
Somebody was saying that an idea, because I hear things from different people. I got friends they would like to see communism come in. I got friends they want to see anarchy. I got some friends who are like laissez-faire capitalist, to heck with everybody. I should be allowed to make whatever I want in any way that I want. I mean, this is the gamut, the spectrum. But some people argued that companies come in and they'll seek out the states that have the best return for their money. They'll seek out the states that basically aren't going to tax them. Like if they have a choice between going here in Washington, and Washington says, well, we're going to charge you 25% tax on income or whatever, and Oregon says, we'll charge you, well, we won't charge you anything.
It's almost like a bidding war.
Yeah.
Only it's bidding war down
Right.
I mean, we'll make you pay less in taxes
right.
if you will hire
Right.
some of the people in this county.
Mm-hmm.
No, hire some of the people in this county. We're still going to make you pay taxes, but you just have to hire more and
I don't have a, I'm not,
sell more.
The reason why I'm bringing this up is that, unlike, I'm not an interviewer with, I'm not trying to trap you, say I have agendas. This is what they should do. I don't even know. I'm just like saying, I hear different sides of it. I'm like, wow, that sounds feasible. And somebody else will say something else. I go, well, he's got a point, and she's got a point. So I'm like,
everyone in the world has a voice, and they should be allowed to use it.
Yeah.
They should be allowed to share their thoughts and opinions.
Yeah.
That's my agenda.
Yeah. So
my agenda is to give people a voice and a choice in government again.
Mm-hmm.
They don't seem to have much of one right now.
No, you're right. You're right. So
we need to get back that. We need to get that back so that proper choices can be made that line the people's pockets and not the big businesses' pockets.
Well, aside from, I agree with you, a voice and a choice, certainly.
Or not just
besides, though, besides voting for you and making sure that you get elected, or you at least win the primaries, what other methods besides the forums do they have to give? How would you say that they should go to a forum and bring their friends, and how should they organize to show their voice in the most powerful, most effective manner?
I believe the county already has a system set up for that. It's just not being used.
Why not? Is it the county that certain officials are making it hard for people to use, or are people just like don't know about it, or they're apathetic, or what?
Agendas.
I'm not sure what you mean. I know what agendas are, what that word means, but what do you mean?
They seem to have their own agendas.
The people in power now?
Yes.
Okay. So
at times, but not all the time.
Okay, so their agendas are kind of discouraging people from like coming forward, or is it just that most people are just too distracted?
Someone who works can't go to those commissioner meetings because most of them are during the day.
Oh, okay. So when most people work?
When they have forums, they open it up in the evening. But
you're right. I went to City Club, and that was on a Friday, and that was at noon. I didn't think of that. I've been to City Club. Why not Saturday? Why not like at night? Right. Like when, because they basically, you could get food there and cookies and coffee, and why not have like again ribs and coffee?
It's very hard to hear the people when you hold meetings when they can't come.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you think of it, the majority of the people that were there at those meetings were affluent, people with some money, some people with means, and they were my age or older. So these are people who are retired.
Right.
Yeah, you didn't see a lot of real young people there. It's Friday, and it's during the day. I didn't think of that. So that would be something. I should ask these forums and these places, why don't you reschedule? Why don't you have two of them? So I learned something else.
I'd like to see more town hall meetings.
Yeah. Yeah, more town hall meetings. So, and again, that would be great if they had some, like some places. You ever go to, where the Veterans Club is, or the Max on Willamette?
Yes,
okay.
I do.
So, every now and then they have a band. Then the band takes a rest. Then somebody else might go up and play or something. So maybe they should work it out like that. A band plays, then they have a town hall meeting. Okay, now take a rest. We're going to enjoy some music, and then back to, I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of variables that could happen.
Yeah.
It could.
So, but if you were
doing that, could make a meeting last 5 hours, and nobody's going to stay for a meeting for 5 hours.
Yeah, you might be right. But if there's, well, there's other, the thing is, if you're elected, you have all these opportunities to what you'll be able to figure out, hey, how can you would make the town hall meetings or the forums or the, what do you call it, the board, what is it called, the commission?
The Board of County Commissioners?
Meetings, yeah. You would have them at night. You would reschedule them?
I don't know if I could.
Huh.
I don't know what I could do as a commissioner.
You would have to get everybody, all the other board members or the commissioners to agree, I guess, right?
Right.
Right.
Because there are 5.
5, yeah.
So.
Yeah, maybe have to strong arm them, put them in a headlock. Okay.
Oh, I could just see me strong arming.
Okay. So, okay. So what besides your mission is to give people a voice and a choice? What other things besides a voice and a choice would you try to compel or to encourage or persuade your constituents to jump on board? What would you do?
I would make myself more visible.
Okay.
I would make myself more available for town hall meetings in all the communities in West Lane.
Okay.
It would take a lot of scheduling, but it can be done.
Well, this would be your only job. If you got commissioner, you wouldn't be working where you're working now, right? I mean, you would have to do the other thing as full time.
Right.
So you would have all that time to make that work.
I would think so, but again, I don't know what's on a commissioner's agenda. What's on their schedule? What are their actual duties?
I'm going to have to go out there and ask those guys, can I just follow you around with the camera?
Yes. Yeah. I'd love to do that, get on-the-job training before I become a commissioner.
Okay.
And see just what exactly they do, because I know I'm up for it. And I know I've got the numbers down. I mean...
You know what I think? I think they're going to... I had this feeling. You said you got this old boy network. Some people say they have agendas to kind of keep the people replacing them like in the dark. But if we put it, we could get spies. And we get the not teachers, kids. They used to teach civics back in our day.
Right.
Yeah, remember? Did. And I wish they still did that. And
I don't think they call it civics anymore.
What do they call it?
I'm not sure. My grandson took a class in that in high school, and I'm not sure what the class was called. But he became very political for a while, very politically minded. So.
Well, yeah, it sounds pretty good. Maybe we get the kids in schools and institute programs to where they get carte blanche at certain days of the week to follow the specific legislators like county commissioners, city council people, state reps, and say, you know how when you had career day, kids going to see what their mom's doing, hang out with their mom. Well, we can have like a kind of mandatory career day occasionally where students follow, say, Peter DeFazio around, or say,
I think they actually do that.
Really?
I know that there's a program going where 5th graders get to vote one 5th grader to shadow the governor.
Okay. I was thinking somebody maybe a little bit more sophisticated. I mean, I think it's good for a 5th grader.
It's a start.
But different,
it's a start.
Yeah, and get some bright, demanding high school kids. Some kids are like a little in your face, like, I want to really know what's going on, mister. That kind of attitude. I mean, not be disrespectful, but somebody who's taking notes, who's videotaping. What do you do every day? Let's see the lobbyist that you're having lunch with.
What does it take to do what you do?
Yeah.
Because I don't know what all you do.
Yeah. I want to sit in on these lunches that you're, kind of rubbing shoulders with lobbyists and so forth. I want to sit, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
It just seems like that would be kind of a cool idea. So you're going to give people a voice and a choice, which is something we need. And you're going to be basically making yourself more available, more visible. Try to work with the other commissioners to offer other hours, like a rotating schedule.
Right. I mean, I think that if I'm willing to be more visible and more available, hopefully they will want to be more visible and more available.
Well, maybe we could have you even have your own show here, right? We could have you come down. We could set it up live. So while you're, a county commissioner, we could be live. I could be here, and we could say, okay, you got so and so from like Vida or from Florence who wants to know has this question, and that way you could be live.
Question and answer.
You could question and answer, and everybody could watch, and and so forth. I think that's what they need.
It is.
Yeah. So be more interactive.
Right. I have watched some of the videos of the commissioner meetings at work while I'm doing my job.
Right.
I'll have it on in the background sometimes so that I can hear, and if something comes up that, oh, wow, what was that about?
Right. Right. So now, let's ignore that. Anyways.
Yeah.
That's just an alarm. Anyways, so we got something in the background. I'm sorry. You were listening to the people in the background. Were they answering? Were they just in a meeting, talking amongst themselves, or whatever citizens happen to be in the forum?
It's usually the Tuesday commissioner meetings that they put on the intranet.
Okay. And so do they have people ask them questions? Or is it just a meeting?
No, it's just a meeting.
Oh, because I think it would be great if you had, some interplay.
I do
from the audience, like what we were talking about.
Yeah.
When you're here, we have a live show. It's the Beverly Hills Show. Okay, and then they call you and they basically ask you questions. Beverly, you asked me to, you want to hear my voice, you want to hear my choice. This
and
is
I'm
it.
sitting here taking notes.
You're taking notes.
This is what they're interested in. This is one way of doing it. They say this is another way. This is.
Yeah. And so now I was talking to one of the other producers, and I thought we were just talking about this very thing, having roundtable discussions. And I think I was talking to many of the people running for office, and I said, what interests me about the majority of them, because I don't have any dog in the game. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. Most of you guys that are running for office right now, I can't vote for because you're not my district. But people are saying, well, come on, you're being nice about everybody. Why? Who are you going to choose? Who would you like to see in office? I go, well, I don't want to influence the viewers. I don't want to influence it. So it should be up to them.
Right. We're not. I agree. We're not here to influence.
Right.
We're here to listen.
Right.
We're here to take their opinions.
Right.
And research what can really be done.
So,
and try to please as many people as we can with what we can do. Right.
Well, then that's what we were talking about. Like for instance, win, lose, or draw. And this is a question I ask everybody. You're hoping to win. I don't think there's ever a draw, but I just like throwing that in there. And there's a loser. You lose, you win, whatever. So, what are you going to do if you lose? Just say. We know that you're going to give people a voice and a choice when you win. But if you were to lose, what are you going to do then? Besides continue to work where you're working?
If I lose, I'll continue to work where I'm working. I'll get prepared better for next time.
Okay. Because there's a lot of people I've talked to who are showing me this long list of stuff they're doing in the community. They're going, I did all. I was on this. I was on this. The budget board. I was the police commission. They had a whole laundry list of things that they were involved with, neighborhood groups and so forth. We're talking about. I can't believe they were involved with all that stuff. If I had to shave and make a sandwich on the same day, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know
some of that is just okay. They went to a meeting here. They can put that on their resume.
Right.
They went to this meeting. They can put that on their resume.
Right.
They brought up a few things over here at this meeting. They can put that on their resume.
Yeah. Well,
it does not mean they were there full time.
No. I understand that. But what I've noticed in some of these people, by talking to the community, because I'm getting involved with different social activists, and you hear some of these people's names come up, like, oh, so and so is really involved with this, and so and so has been involved. They're really involved, engaged. And what I'm seeing is that these are people who have like inordinately way above average energy and so forth. And they just want to be involved in the process of community building. So yes, they want to get elected because they know that they have more persuasion and change, or they have more power. They have more ability to persuade people around them to help them in community building. Whereas if they're not elected, they still are out there getting their hands filled, dirty, just kind of
Right.
getting in there, right? So that's the sort of stuff, I just imagine that's the sort of stuff you'd be doing, aside from your job.
Trying to keep up with the issues and
Keep up with
what
the issues.
people really
yeah.
want.
Sitting in town hall meetings, whatever, as a citizen.
Right.
And so, I mean, that's what I'm getting it started doing in my late age.
It's a little hard to do that when you work full time.
It
Yeah,
is.
I would
Yeah,
be
yeah.
trying to
Yeah,
do all that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this year, at the first of the year, not only did I get hurt, so I couldn't go out and walk door to door and stuff,
Right.
but then I caught pneumonia,
Oh.
which kept me out for 6 weeks.
Crucial. Yeah. What a unfortunate time, especially when you
Right.
need the most amount of energy.
Right, I was totally off work for 2 weeks and felt like crap for
Right.
5,
Right.
but I still worked.
Yeah.
I had to keep money coming in. I mean,
Yeah.
the county doesn't pay that well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, the thing is that one thing I noticed, and I sense this about you, like if all of a sudden you were retired and you had enough money from a pension to live on, take care of all your needs, you just strike me as the type of person that'd be out in the community, like getting down to your elbows and stuff and saying, let's do this.
yeah,
Let's
that's what I would like to do.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, I'm semi-retired. I mean, in a sense, I don't work in the government sector anymore, but I have more free time than I don't have as many work hours, paid work hours. So I've been getting out and interviewing people like you and trying to raise money or get food and go on food drives, collect food to give to Catholic services and so forth. So. But I wouldn't be able
that's
to.
very admirable.
But
that
I
you
would
do
not be
that.
able to run for office. I don't have the skills as of yet.
I don't either.
Yeah, well,
I've never run for any political
Well, but the
office
thing
ever
is,
before.
you've done accounting. You know numbers. I'm just a cheerleader.
Lots of people know numbers.
I would never want to run for office because I just would be like, can I have some ribs? Maybe that's all I would know. I just wouldn't be
You're
able to.
just there for the dinner,
I'm
right?
just there for the meals and some dancing and stuff like that. I mean, I'd want to do a good job, but I look at a lot of people and I go, wow, these people are qualified in so many ways, and yet what you were saying is just because they have certain qualifications doesn't necessarily mean that they make a good leader either. So it takes a whole blend, or it takes a special person to be able to choose people with the appropriate skills. Like I know business leaders they're really bright. They don't have any. They're generalists. I mean, they're systems
They
people.
know how to
Gather.
project an image.
Yeah.
I don't project any image because I'm just a working person.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you really want to get down and get your skin in the game and really help out.
I'm really interested in what makes other people tick.
Right.
What interests them.
Yeah.
I believe that's what's kept me working for the county as long as I have.
Yeah.
Because I'm at behavioral health. While I'm in the background, I'm helping the people who help those that need it.
Right. And that's always, and see, that's the kind of person I'm at right now. I'm willing to help. I'm willing to be the assistant to people, like yourself. Okay, you're in office, or whether you're in office, or you're in charge of this charitable or philanthropic organization. I could be your cheerleader. I'm the guy that's going to go out and help you raise awareness for what you're doing and raise money. I could not be, in office. I would feel trapped.
That's a real switch for me because I used to be the same way, and I'm not sure what really changed that. Part of it was the strike. Part of it was just a natural growth.
Yeah, we're evolving all the time.
Yeah, and part of it was because I'm so interested in helping people that this just seems like the logical next step.
Right. Yeah, it does seem like a next obvious progression for many people. Well, listen, Beverly, we're out of time. I could speak to you all evening, especially if I had a rib and a coffee. But anyways, it's been a pleasure. Do you have a website?
Beverly Hills for West Lane County Commissioner.
And you got a Facebook page too, I know.
Yes.
Okay.
Same thing.
It's been a pleasure. Yeah, and good luck to you. And I hope, win, lose, or draw, that I will be running into you and helping you to do projects with helping the community. I hope,
Right.
work with the other people.
I don't have any volunteers working with me right now because I don't take donations.
Right.
I won't do that. People need their money to live on.
Yeah. But I'm going to say one thing. I need donations, whether it's ribs or coffee, bulletproof coffee, food, eggs, dozens of eggs. If you want to drop eggs at my house, I'll take them, but not from
just don't throw them at your house.
Right, but not from special interest groups. So I'm into that. Anyways, thank you so much, and we're out of time.
And thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.